Here at Casa Peregrinos, a basket of almost 80 pounds of food can be provided. This includes canned goods, fruits and vegetables, meat and dairy, and bakery products. And with all the donations coming in, this will help improve CDP programs and more access to healthy foods. So what is the difference between New Mexico chili and Colorado chili? Is it the weather or is it the soil? Well, Miranda Cisneros, program coordinator for the NMCU Chili Institute, says it's both. If you want to help bees, there are things you could do aside from beekeeping. You can plant wildflowers year-long and leave some weeds around to encourage native pollinators to live in your neighborhood. For News 22, I'm Victoria Valderrama. When animal control gets the call, and there is a clear violation of the law, the animal control officer documents the incident and conducts an investigation. Then a referral is made to the district attorney's office for charges to be filed.
Yeah, this one's not doing good, but that's how we'll open
Brad
it up.
Kohler is a beekeeper, but unlike other beekeepers, he doesn't do it to sell honey. He does it because it brings him joy to save the bees. Working in pest control, Brad has done lots of bee removals, and each time he takes the bees to a new home.
You know, I think in all of us there's some kind of an innate feeling or joy in seeing something do well. And so that's what it is for me. Just like if you walked out in your garden and you see the plants really thriving and it brings you joy to your very heart. That's what it is for me with beekeeping. I want to see the bees do well.
For Brad, beekeeping is a hobby, but he is aware of the problem with bees disappearing. If the bees continue to disappear, our food sources will become limited. Dr. Stephanie Walker, a vegetable specialist at NMSU, says we depend on native pollinators.
If you're trying to grow watermelons, you don't have any bees or other native pollinators around, you're not going to get fruit. You're going to have vines, and your fruit are going to just dry up and die because they won't be pollinated.
Entomology professor Scott Bundy says the worldwide decline in bees is due to many factors, including parasites, insecticides, and something called colony collapse disorder, in which the majority of worker bees in a colony disappear and leave behind their queen.
So yeah, they come here. There's lots of issues that could cause colony collapse and other declines with bees. Probably the most well-known example is varroa mite, which is a parasite that lives on bees, and so that has a major impact on their health.
If you want to help bees, there are things you could do aside from beekeeping. You can plant wildflowers year-long and leave some weeds around to encourage native pollinators to live in your neighborhood. For News 22, I'm Victoria Valderrama.
With the gracious strength that you alone and all who pass by this sacred...
It was an emotional morning in the parking lot in front of the Walmart. The mayor and the bishop, along with some people of the community, were there to honor the 22 lives lost.
You know, I came a couple times to the informal memorial behind the store, and that was a very meaningful experience coming to that. And so we wanted to come to sort of this next phase of the story, I think.
Across the country, people know of the loss the city of El Paso suffered. Now, a memorial stands in front of the Walmart, just in time for the holidays.
It's, you know, it's a time for when all families get together. I mean, we know that a lot of have been affected by the tragedy, and so a lot of this community will have they won't have the same experience as other holidays.
Nearly 4 months ago, tragedy struck in El Paso, and today the Gran Candela has been unveiled in the Walmart parking lot, just as they had hoped for.
This is Walmart's rendition of how they wanted to honor our 22 lost family members, and this is what they want. The associates played a big part in it, so this is all Walmart, and this is really, really touching. I don't know if I think this is, and it's supposed to light up at night.
This 30-foot monument made up of 22 perforated aluminum arcs radiates a nightly glow, a way to remember one of the darkest days in El Paso history. For News 22, I'm Victoria Valderrama.
All right, let's start the bid. $10.
I sold it, $20 right here.
No.
rivals, you know. There's other people that try to compete with the hatch green chili, but this is the place to go. This is the chili capital of the world.
The rivalry between two neighboring states was on display at the Hatch Festival. It fired up back in July when Colorado Governor Jared Polis shared on Facebook that New Mexico's Hatch chili is inferior to Pueblo's.
Well, Hatch is world famous, you know, here in New Mexico, so our chili's the best of anyone that knows chili, so there's no competition there at all.
I was born in Colorado, so I have loyalty to both. New Mexico is far better.
So what is the difference between New Mexico chili and Colorado chili? Is it the weather or is it the soil? Well, Miranda Cisneros, program coordinator for the NMCU Chili Institute, says it's both.
Climate has a lot to do with chili peppers. So I would say the New Mexico soil, you know, the temperatures that we have, and also the water. I think experience has the biggest, I guess you could say, advantage.
New Mexicans do love their green chili. For some, it's just part of life. And like a wine connoisseur can taste the differences in wine, a New Mexican can taste the differences in chili.
I love the flavor. I love the amount of heat that I can get, or just adding it to whatever it is that I want to add it to.
Loyal to their chili, New Mexico natives agreed. There's only one place that grows true green chili. With News 22, I'm Victoria Valderrama. Senator Elizabeth Warren has ended her presidential campaign. She is dropping out despite earlier assertions that she would stay in the race until the Democratic National Convention. It comes after Warren had a very poor showing on Super Tuesday. Well, we're going to switch gears now and hear about all of our current conditions next with Gabe. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and here in Las Cruces, it's also a time to honor the life of one teen taken too soon. It's been 15 years since 15-year-old Ashley Wax was shot to death by her boyfriend. Well, you know where I'm going after this. I'm gonna go watch the men's basketball game.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one with those plans. Let's go with Dusty with sports.